now we're going to kick it on over to our on-the-spot correspondents who are reviewing No Time to Die.
Hey, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Tim, and today we're going to be reviewing the new James Bond film, No Time to Die. Here's the trailer.
Why would I betray you?
We all have our secrets. We just didn't get to yours yet. The world is arming faster than we can respond. Where's 007?
I need a favor, brother. You're the only one I trust for this.
The world's moved on, Commander Bond.
You were 00?
2 years. So stay in your lane. You get in my way, I will put a bullet in your knee. The one that works.
I thought you two would get along.
Name?
Bond. James Bond.
So you're not dead?
Hello, Q. I've missed you.
It's the most valuable asset this country has. If you feel yourself losing control,
I'm not going to lose control.
James, you gave up everything for her. When her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of him.
What is it?
You don't know what this is.
James Bond. License to kill. History of violence. I could be speaking to my own reflection. Only your skills die with your body. Mine will survive long after I'm gone.
History isn't kind to men who play God.
Okay, so now that we've seen the trailer, Gabe, what are your thoughts overall on the movie?
Okay, so Daniel Craig being James Bond, the thought of that being over, it didn't hit me until this movie was done, and I was like, oh man, like this was my favorite James Bond, like, and so that like kind of washed over me, and so this movie has some real highs and real lows, but like overall, when it's done, I just wanted to be back in that world. And I think that is a testament to its success.
Very nice. Yeah, I agree that it definitely had the highs and lows. For me, it was a little bit more of a middle of the road in Craig's overall, filmography for me as James Bond. I did like it. I had some fun moments with it. It was really like, at the end I walked out and kind of like, okay, wow, really, he's like, that's his last
done.
film.
It's over, yeah.
And it was great. I think he did a good job. But overall, kind of more middle of the road, not as great as Skyfall or Casino Royale for me, but definitely better than like Spectre and Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Still a good movie, just not the best.
Okay. Differing opinions, but like we can get to it.
Yeah.
So I will say this. First off, this movie opens with a killer. I don't know if I want to call it like an homage to horror movies, but they start this movie off so well. It's so distant, it's lonely, it's snowy, it's cold. And so I saw this movie in 3D, and so like just from the onset, this first off, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Theaters need you.
Yes.
Go see it in 3D. Spend the $3 more. Like you have my college student opinion. It is worth the extra $3. And so this movie just starts off so well, and then right from the get-go, they get to this chase scene with Bond. And that moment in the trailer we all saw, when he jumps up the wall on his bike, it's great. Then you kind of hit a middle-of-the-road moment. And so this movie is 2 hours and 43 minutes. And there are absolutely some spots where you can feel that.
I agree. I think that runtime was a little bit more than we needed. Like, there were definitely, like you said, moments that could have been cut out and could have made it a more cohesive story. But then there were some, like, those action sequences. I wouldn't have touched a thing. Like, that beginning was incredible. That's the forest scene I loved. I loved, like, with the helicopters and everything. It was great. But yeah, the runtime, I think, for me, was one of the negative points because it could have been cut down a little bit. But like you said, still some great moments in there. And especially that opening scene.
Yes.
Now, that opening scene I really loved, you mentioned. It's fantastic. And part of the reason I love it so much is because of Rami Malek and his performance as Safin in the beginning.
Yep.
Now, he's like you said, he kind of walks in, he's like this horror movie, like, killer. Yep. And it's terrifying. And it's like, it really pulls you right into the movie. And I really was so excited for him at that moment. But then for the rest of the movie, it kind of died out a little bit. He falls flat. What do you think?
What's horrifying is his performance. But, there are definitely points where I'm like, he's not as bad as Dominic Green from Quantum of Solace, but he just might be one of the second worst Bond villains. Because, I mean, for someone of Rami Malek's caliber as an actor, maybe it's my fault for having too high expectations. That could be on me. But there are just moments where his motivations are so cluttered, and you're just...
Yep.
So you want to kill everyone because you're going to kill the entire world because your parents died, and then it's very confusing. But I will say this, the plot device, the weapon they have in this is badass. It is awesome, and it's something like you're definitely scared of as the movie goes on.
Yep.
It poses a threat, but like the fact that you're more scared of a machine than the person using it usually means that you didn't write that villain very well.
Yep.
But, you know, he's still, obviously, it's still a decent performance, but I just don't think it was up to snuff for what he usually puts out.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. I think, an actor of his caliber, like you said, I was expecting a little bit more, but hey, you know, what are you going to do? So what are your thoughts on kind of the other characters, too? Because there was a big ensemble cast for this movie, and I had a few favorites myself. For one, I loved Q. Ben Wishaw's Q. He's one of my favorites. Just that quirkiness to him, I find it adorable. And then Ana de Armas's character Paloma was also one of my favorites. And I just wish she had a little bit more time. That's my only complaint about her.
Yeah, the thing is, like, she is first off, you have to talk about the history of the Bond movies and their relations to women. They've been criticized for that, a lot of times rightfully so. And so this series has been very intentional about trying to change that. It's given him longtime love interest with Vesper and Madeline. And so when I saw Ana de Armas in this, I thought, oh, is this going to be like a really bad portrayal of women? And no, turns out she's a funny, awesome, just a great person in this. And so you end up just wanting more of her, but like a great twist on the classic Bond girl formula. Another great supporting character, I loved Ralph Fiennes' M in this. He's balding a little. The shirts are looking a little bit big on him. And so we're starting to see, like, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. He's really going through it. And so towards the end, you know, no spoilers, but he has to make a very difficult decision. And so we see, you know, the chair is almost, that he's sitting in is like looming around him, and he's like too small for it. And Ralph Fiennes is awesome.
Yes.
And so I have not heard anyone hyping him up like they should be for this movie, and I just think he deserves some sort of shout out. So I thought it was really cool.
I agree. Yeah, he was fantastic, and he's really merged into this role of M very well, taking over from Judi Dench, right? Correct.
Yes. Very, very hard shoes to fill. 100%.
Absolutely. So yeah, he was fantastic. And one of the last things I want to talk about too is we've talked about all these supporting characters too, and a little bit about Daniel Craig, but I really want to dive into his performance. This was the last one. He's capping off as James Bond. And I think that he did a fantastic job.
Oh, he made me cry at the end of it. I'm a grown man, and I was crying in a movie theater by myself.
Yeah, he was incredible. I mean, I think he really took everything that he wanted to do with James Bond and made sure he capitalized on it in this film because he knew it was his last one. And I think that really it was a little bit of a different James Bond, a little bit more I picked up on a little more lightheartedness to him. But I really enjoyed it. And I think it worked very well for this film.
This is definitely a Bond who is wearing his history. These are definitely the most interconnected Bond movies, I would say.
Yeah.
And so this Bond he's carrying pain from the past with him. And so at the end, he has that final monologue where all we see is Craig's face. And he almost has this moment of getting everything off his chest. and just his delivery. And, the writing is amazing, and his delivery of it, and it slowly zooms in on him, and it's just a glamorous super spy, fully stripped of that, just being a human. And oh boy, will that just punch you in the heart, dude.
Yep.
But no, just beautiful performance by him. He's not gonna get nominated for Best Actor because the Oscars it's not gonna happen.
Yep.
But it would be great, and I think he would deserve it. So.
Absolutely, I agree. All right, so wrapping kind of things up, what would be your final review of the film rating?
This is gonna make me. I'm a Bond fanboy, but you know what? I'm giving this a 9. Like
Oh, okay.
It's definitely it's got some issues. It's very indulgent with its runtime. But anytime that a movie ends and I immediately want to watch it again, even if it's 2 hours and 43 minutes, that's exactly what I wanted. It's the perfect send off, and I don't know. That's just. It's amazing for me. What about you?
Absolutely great to hear. Yeah, for me, like I said, it was a little bit more middle of the road. I'm going kind of 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Not a great score, I know. Better than the other, like Spectre and Quantum of Solace, though. And I think those performances that we talked about that were so strong really carried it up for me.
Yeah.
I just would have preferred a little bit of a stronger villain and maybe a more cohesive story. But overall, still a really fun film that I enjoyed watching.
I agree on that one.
All right, that's going to be it from us. Now back to you guys in the studio.
That's all for this week. If you want to follow more Review Crew content, go to the Review Crew Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as Orange TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube.
Find the Review Crew's podcast on Spotify or on our website at orangetvnetwork.syr.edu, where you could also find our blog and more OTN information.
Check out this week's screening hosted by University Union, Escape Room, Tournament of Champions.
Also, be sure to check out Friday Night Movie Night on OTN. This week's movies are The Little Princess, The General, and Indiscretion of an American Wife.
See you next week.